I'm presenting Citizens 2, Safety Setting Collaboration Among Older Adults with Memory Concerns. This work was done by Nora McDonald at the University of Cincinnati and Helena Mentis at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Designing technologies that support the cybersecurity of older adults with memory concerns involves grappling with an uncomfortable and worrisome paradox between surveillance on the one hand and independence on the other. Our work looks at what this interaction might look like when it involves the close collaboration of couples. This research captures the interaction between older adult couples where one or both have memory concerns, a primary feature of cognitive decline, as they make decisions on how to safeguard their online activities using a safety setting probe we designed, and over the course of several informal interviews and a diary study. As we embarked on our research, it became more apparent that what was emerging was a kind of frame of citizenship in open source collaboration, specifically histories of participation, lower barriers to participation, and maintaining an ongoing contribution. In this metaphor of collaborative enterprise, one member of the couple may be the service provider and the other may be the participant. But at varying moments, they may switch roles while still maintaining a collaborative focus on preserving shared assets and freedom on the internet. In our work, we consider what this service provider contributor mentality means for empowerment through citizenship and the implications for vulnerable population cybersecurity. So just a little background. Bartlett and O'Connor make the case for a sociological view of citizenship that considers power, agency, and structure. So if we imagine a partnership or a family that is struggling with cognitive changes of one of its members, the tendency may be to have this person conform. At the same time, there is an opportunity for the community to change, to evolve the way that they think about internet use as something that requires more cooperative practice while also thinking about the implications of surveillance. Even if surveillance is a requirement for cooperative membership, we wondered how we could empower both members. Our analysis is partly directed at making sense of participants' socio-technical space and how they negotiated technology as partners during a setup prior to our formal study. Our encounters with participants took place over days and culminated in several hour sessions, less than an hour of which involved engagement with the actual safety setting probe. Much of that interaction and observation centered on the process through which they reached that point of engagement, a journey that offered a unique sightline for the researchers. Here's a brief overview of our findings. Findings from our setup illustrate the way in which couples' roles are dynamic and collaborative. During the setup phase, which included securing signed consent, the researchers interact with each pair in a variety of impromptu ways. For instance, connecting through FaceTime, helping participants with the printing and sending of consent forms, resending an email with the meeting invite, or troubleshooting device challenges to optimize remote access. It was precisely in these moments of technological challenge that we learned how knowledge of someone with memory concerns may have trumped that of their partner and led to an unpredictable and uneven power dynamic. Exploring these moments became the impetus for our thinking about how power, agency, and structure interact and led us to consider what membership in a partnership or citizenship might look like. We found that during our setup, in some cases, the partner with more advanced memory loss initially led the technical setup, or led it the entire time. This might have occurred because the partner with more memory loss was more technologically savvy. It also reflects the way in which relationship dynamics override memory issues and technology decisions. So for the technology probe portion, couples were asked to collaboratively identify privacy settings for activities they do on the web, ranging from email to banking. Our findings concerning couples' discussions around their options for continual online safety in the face of cognitive impairment with our technology probe are organized around three basic concepts drawn from principles of governance in collaborative platforms. First, logging and creating histories of participation. We find that couples concerned about progression of memory loss leads them to select logs because they like the prospect that both they and their couples would have immediate access to their history. 2, lower barriers to participation. Couples are determined to ensure that settings accommodate levels of mutual respect and autonomy that allows both couples to participate uninhibited or with only modest oversight so that they can adjust security settings on their own terms. 3, maintaining ongoing contribution. Couples engage collaboratively in discussions about settings and placing a high priority in maintaining participation. Finally, findings from our diary study. In our diary study, we learned that couples encounter external threats most often, but that they are perhaps most concerned about internal threats. External threats include emails from senders looking for couples to update account payments from accounts they don't have, emails from senders that are not the company represented, as discerned from the sender or link, and emails describing activities or requesting logins or password changes the couples knew or doubted they had done. These external events garner feelings reported in the diaries of being scared, confused, pissed, and violated. External threats are typically detected and thwarted because couples are vigilant about notices referencing activities they did not initiate. Internal threats, on the other hand, describe events that couples acknowledge they regret, such as buying something from a spammy company, entering passwords incorrectly, falling for shopping scam, posting something on Facebook that they regret, clicking on a link that, in retrospect, they knew was not legitimate. These events result in self-reproach. I will not purchase that from a seller again, and also conversations between couples dissecting what went wrong and how to mitigate it. For instance, we agreed never to click on this suspicious link again. Our findings lend support to the idea that aging couples in need of enhanced support to manage their online interactions are both drawn to and potentially best served by approaches to cybersecurity that treat them as a collaborative community of participants with the latitude to set personally acceptable and mutually agreed upon terms of participation. Use of this model as a frame for consideration of cybersecurity tools will advance both the level of protection conferred and the level of citizenship each partner is capable of exercising. This research reminds us that these partner collaborations are not always governed by a memory status hierarchy. They also reflect a history of negotiated roles and interactions, which the couples will tend to honor in their methods of deliberation and in the decisions they make. Consistent with that finding, our work also highlights partner sensitivity to the need to balance autonomy with oversight in a way that respects the integrity of the relationship. And finally, it underscores their appreciation for protections that offer the flexibility to accommodate not just divergent personal styles and needs, but also changing circumstances, given the inherently dynamic nature of cognitive decline and the implications for both online efficacy and cybersecurity. Thank you.